Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain an Iranian folklore, The Shepherd's Treasure. The story is a famous folk tale of Iran. It focuses on the importance of human values such as honesty, wisdom, and humility. The whole chapter, the whole story is about these qualities: honesty, wisdom, and humility. It is about a poor shepherd whose friendly nature and wise deeds won the heart of everyone. Though the shepherd is poor, still he is famous among people. He has won the heart of everyone because of his friendly nature and wise works, wise deeds. The story is about the fluctuating nature of wealth and fortunes. The storyteller says that wealth does not remain forever to someone, or our fortunes are fickle. So, the story is about human values and about fluctuating nature of wealth and fortunes. Let us know what the story is. This is the story of a poor and uneducated but wise and helpful shepherd living in a village in Iran. So, this is the story in Iran of a shepherd. The shepherd, though he is poor, though he is uneducated, still he is wise and he is helpful. That's why he is popular among people. He becomes famous. He is really famous for his wisdom and generosity. He is of kind nature, he is of generous nature, and he is wise and intelligent. That's why he becomes famous. The king tests for his humbleness and wisdom, meeting him in disguise. The king hears about the generosity and wisdom and fame of the shepherd. That's why the king wanted to check these qualities and he came to him in disguise. He wanted to check the humbleness and the wisdom of the shepherd. That's why he met him, but the king met him in disguise. The king was not in the guise of a king. Having been impressed by the shepherd's caring nature and wisdom, the king makes him the governor of a small district. When the king meets the shepherd and he talks to him, he is really impressed by the values the shepherd shows. The caring nature of the shepherd and wisdom of shepherd really impress the king. That's why the king wanted to reward him and he just makes him the governor of a small district. And when he was made the governor of the small district, the governors of other districts get jealous of him. They have got jealousy regarding him. Why? Because these are the governors, they belong to some rich families, and the shepherd is made a governor. He is a shepherd, he is a poor person. That's why the other governors really are jealous of him. They put in the mind of the king that the shepherd keeps a part of the tax collected from his district into an iron box. So the other governors, they conspired against this governor and they filled the mind of the king. The thoughts that are against this governor. They wanted to corrupt the mind of the king and they say to the king that this shepherd holds some tax collected from his district into an iron box. He just keeps some part of the money collected as tax without the knowledge of the king. The king calls. Though initially the king does not believe the other persons, still, when everyone was talking the same way, the king calls the shepherd and he gets the box opened. The king wants the shepherd to open that box. And when the box is opened, everyone finds an old blanket. There was no money. What was there? There is only an old blanket, and this old blanket is the shepherd's only money and companion. The shepherd himself says that this is the only treasure the shepherd has. This is the only money that the shepherd has, and this is the only companion the shepherd has in the box. The king, he appoints him the governor of the bigger district because the king was really impressed by the honesty, by the humility, by the generosity, and by the kind nature of the shepherd. Let us read the chapter, The Shepherd's Treasure. We all know what shepherds are. A shepherd is a person who owns or tends and rears sheep. And what is a treasure? A treasure is a collection of precious and valuable objects. It's called a treasure. But here, the treasure that the writer wants to express, the treasure that the writer talks about, is not money. It is not any jewelry. It is the internal nature of the shepherd. In a village in Iran, there once lived a shepherd. He was very poor. He did not have even small cottage of his own. He had never been to school or learned to read and write, for there were very few schools in those days. So, this is the story that happens in Iran, and the story is of a shepherd who was very poor. He did not have even a small cottage of his own. He was so much poor that he could not have a cottage of his own. He did not have a home, a house of his own. He had never been to school. He was also uneducated. He did not know to read and write. And why he could not read and write? He could not read and write because there were few schools. There were not many schools in those days in villages. That's why he remained uneducated. Though poor and uneducated, we know that he is poor and uneducated. This shepherd was very wise, but one quality that he possessed, it was his wisdom. He was really intelligent. He understood people's sorrows, and along with his wisdom, he had got human values as well. He understood people's sorrows. He was considerate about people who were in troubles, who were sad and sorrowful, and troubles. He understood people's sorrows, he understood people's troubles, and he not only understood their sorrows and troubles, he also helped them face their problems with courage and common sense. He just made those people face their problems. He showed courage, he showed common sense to them, and he told those people that using courage, using bravery, using strength of your mind, they should face those problems. He encouraged people to use common sense. He encouraged people to use their bravery and face all the problems of the world. Many people came to him for advice because he was very wise. Though he was not educated, still he was very wise, and people came to him to take his advice, to take his suggestion. Soon, early, he became famous. Now he was famous. Why he was famous? Because he was wise for his wisdom. He was famous for his wisdom, and he was famous for his friendly nature. The king of that country heard about him and thought of meeting him. And the king also heard of his fame. He heard that he was a good person. He heard that he was a very intelligent person. That's why the king wanted to check these qualities of the shepherd, and he wanted to meet him. Disguised as a shepherd. So, how did the king go to the shepherd? He was disguised. He had changed his appearance, and the king was there, and the king went there to the shepherd in the guise of, or in the appearance of, another shepherd, and riding on a mule, because he could not ride on a horse there. That's why he rode on a mule, and in the form or in the appearance of a shepherd, he went to this shepherd. One day the king came to the cave, and this shepherd lived in a cave because he was so poor he could not afford to live in a house, well built house. That's why he lived in a cave where the wise shepherd lived. As soon as the shepherd saw the traveler, he saw the traveler, and who was the traveler? It was the king in the appearance of the shepherd coming towards the cave. When this shepherd saw that someone was coming towards him, he rose. He stood up, he rose and welcomed him. When this shepherd saw that someone was coming to him, he stood up and he came to welcome that person. He took the tired traveler inside the cave. He took the tired traveler, same the tired traveler is the king. And now the traveler was really tired. Inside the cave, gave him water to drink and share of his own meager meal. Though this shepherd did not know about any traveler, he did not know that someone was to come to him. Still, there was a traveler to him, and he just welcomed him warmly. He gave him drink. It means he was really a hospitable person. He gave him drink, and he also gave him the share of his meal. He also gave him his food, and he did not have much food because he was poor, so he did not have much food. Still, the food that the shepherd had, he shared that food to the king. Means he was really a nice person. He was a kind hearted person. He was generous. He gave his share of small amount of food that he had. The king rested for the night. The king took rest for the night there in the cave and was greatly impressed, and he was really impressed. He was really full of admiration and respect by the shepherd's hospitality. The king was impressed to see the hospitality of the shepherd. The shepherd welcomed him, he gave him drink, he gave him meal, and the king was also impressed by the conversation, by the talk, by the wise talk, in fact, of the shepherd. The king was also impressed by the intelligent and wise discussion of the shepherd. Though still tired, the king decided to depart the next morning. Now, the next morning, though the king was tired still he decided to depart, to go from that place. And he said, "Many thanks for your kindness to a poor traveler." And the king thanked this shepherd for his kindness. "I have a long way to go. Permit me to leave." And then the king asked permission from the shepherd to go, and the king told that he was to go a long way. Looking straight into the eyes of his guest, the shepherd replied. The shepherd looked at the king, he looked into his eyes, and he answered the king, or he told the king, "Thank you, your majesty." He used the words, "your majesty," and these words are used for king. It means the shepherd had recognized the other traveler and he knew that it was the king. It means the shepherd was really wise because he knew that it was the king. So he thanked the king and he told the king, "Your majesty, for paying me the compliment of a visit." And the shepherd thanked the king because the king paid him a visit. The king paid a visit to this shepherd, and it was a compliment for the shepherd because the king himself came to the shepherd. That's why it was a compliment for him. It was an action of admiration towards the shepherd. And this action of compliment was shown by the king. And now the king also knew that he was intelligent because he recognized the king, he was honest, he was hospitable, and he was a nice man. The king was surprised as well as pleased, and he was also full of admiration, he was also happy. "He is indeed very wise," he thought to himself. The king thought that he refers here the shepherd. The shepherd was really wise. He was really intelligent. How was he wise? Because he recognized the king. People like him to work for me. And the king thought that this type of person, this type of honest and wise person should be there in the service of the king. So the king wanted that he should work for the king. The king appointed this humble shepherd governor of a small district. So as a reward of his honesty, as a reward of his wisdom, the king gave him the position of a governor. He appointed him a governor of a small district. That was his reward. Although he rose to power and dignity, now he was a governor. His power is increased, his dignity is increased. The shepherd remained as humble as ever, but he did not leave his nature. Though he was in power, though he was full of respect, he was full of honor, or people honored him, people respect him the more. Still, he did not change himself. He remained as humble as ever. So this is the value that everyone should have. People loved and honored him for his wisdom, his sympathy, and goodness. As before, still the people of the district or all around that area, they honored him. They honored him for his qualities. And what qualities did he have? He had got wisdom. He was full of sympathy. He was full of pity for others. And he was really good and nice fellow. He was kind as well. And he was just. He was fair. He did not do partiality. So he was kind, he was just, he was fair to one and all. He was impartial. These are also good qualities that he possessed. His fame as a fair and wise governor soon spread throughout the country. Now he was famous as a fair, just, and wise governor. He was famous throughout the country. Now, the governors of other provinces grew terribly jealous of him and began to talk to the king against him. Now, because he was the governor of a small province, of a small state, of a small area, and the other governors of other provinces, they were very much jealous of this governor. Why were they jealous of this governor? They were jealous of this governor because he belonged to a poor family. He is from a poor background and he rose to this high position of a governor. That's why the other governors, they felt jealous of him and they started to talk to the king against him and they started to conspire against him. They started to tell wrong things to the king about this governor. They said, he is very dishonest and keeps for himself part of the money that he collects as tax from the people. So other governors, they told that this governor, he was dishonest. He was dishonest because he would keep some money that he collects as tax illegally. They accused him, they blamed him that he would have some part of the money collected from people as a tax. He would have that money or some part of the money illegally somewhere to him, or he did not give that money to the king. Why did he always carry with him? They added an iron chest, and they also told him that he had got an iron chest. He had got a large box of iron, and they wanted to say that he kept that money that he keeps to himself taken as a tax, and he kept that money to him in that box. Perhaps he carried in it the treasure that he had secretly collected. Perhaps he carried in it the treasure that he had secretly collected. So other governors, they accused him. They told that maybe he carried in it, maybe this governor carried in the box, in the iron chest, the treasure that he had secretly collected. The treasure that he had secretly collected by grabbing the tax money. After all, they said mockingly, they also said mockingly, making fun of this shepherd. They said that he was an ordinary shepherd and could behave no better. What they wanted to say, they wanted to say that he was an ordinary shepherd, he was a poor person, he did not belong to royalty, and being poor, he can be dishonest. That was the view of these governors. At first, the king did not pay attention because the king believed him a lot. So, at first, he did not pay any attention to these rumors spread by those governors. But how long could he ignore? How long could he overlook these governors? Because those governors, they continued to talk about such things. They continued to spread these blames and their endless stories. And how long the king could ignore their endless stories, how long the king could overlook their endless stories or the endless stories fabricated by all those governors about the shepherd. One thing was certain, the king discovered, and moreover, the king also found that one thing was certain, one thing was sure, and what the thing was that he carried an iron chest with him. That was certain. The new governor did carry an iron chest with him all the time. And this was really true that the other governors told about that shepherd. So there was also a slight suspicion in the mind of the king as well about this iron box that the new governor would carry with him. So one day the new governor was summoned. So the king called for this governor to the palace in front of him in the court of the king. He came, so the new governor came riding on his camel. He had got a camel and he rode on his camel and he came to the court. And to everyone's delight, the famous iron chest was there, fastened securely behind him on the camel's back. And everyone was happy. Who was happy? Those persons who were jealous of this governor. So everyone was happy because this iron chest that everyone talked about was there with him, fastened, tied securely, safely behind him on the camel's back. So everyone was happy when the shepherd came with the iron chest, with the iron box there, fastened, tied safely on the back of the camel. Because now they thought that the king would sack him. They thought that the king would punish him. They thought that the box contained jewelry, the box contained treasure. Now the king was angry. Now the king was angry. Why was he angry? He was angry to look at that iron box because he had suspicion towards that governor because of this iron box. So he was angry and he thundered and he spoke angrily. Why do you always carry that iron chest with you? What does it contain? So the king was angry and now he asked about this chest. He asked about that box. The governor smiled. He asked his servant to bring in the chest. How eagerly the people standing around waited for the shepherd to be found out. So, when the king gave him the order to open that box, or the king wanted to see what was there in the box, the governor, he smiled and he told his servant to bring that box, and everyone was very eager. The people were eager, everyone was eager, they were curious, and they were standing around there They were waiting because they wanted that the shepherd should be found out. They wanted that the shepherd should be guilty of stealing the money, of grabbing the money. That's why they were very eager. They were eager for the box to open, and they would like to see some jewelry in the box, some money in the box. That's why the shepherd would be found out and the king would punish him. All of them were eager. But how great was their astonishment! But they were really astonished. And even the king himself was astonished. Everyone standing around the shepherd, everyone was astonished, and even the king himself was surprised. And when were all of them surprised? They were surprised when the chest was opened. What was there in that chest? No gold. There was no gold, there was no silver, there was no jewels. But what was there? There was an old blanket. It was an old blanket that came out, holding it up proudly. And he was really proud. The shepherd was really proud of this thing, of this old blanket, and he held that blanket proudly, or he showed that blanket proudly to everyone. And then he said, "This, my dear master, is my treasure, is my only treasure." So this was the only treasure the shepherd had. I always carry it with me. And the shepherd told that he always carried this treasure of his with him always. "But why do you carry such an ordinary blanket with you?" But now the king asked why why the shepherd carried such an ordinary, quite simple blanket with him. "Surely you are the governor of a district," he said. The king said that he was the governor of the district, and the king asked, why did he carry such an ordinary and old blanket with him? To which the shepherd replied, and the shepherd answered to the question of the king. And he answered with quiet dignity, with silent dignity. "This blanket is my oldest friend." But he said that this blanket was the friend of the shepherd, and it was the friend of the shepherd when he was poor. So it was an old friend of him. "It will still protect me if at any time your majesty should wish to take away my new clothes." So he said that being an old friend, this blanket or that blanket would always protect him in any situation. If the situation changes, if something is wrong with him, if he gets in adversity, or if the king, your majesty, if the king should wish to take away my new cloak, it means if the king removed him from the position of the governor, if the king would take the new clothes of the governor, then only this old blanket would serve him. So here the shepherd shows his wisdom. He knew about time. He knew that the time does not remain similar. If someone is in prosperity, if someone enjoys prosperity now, it may be possible that he will be in adversity at any time in future. So he knew that the king could take away his office. The king could take away all the clothes given by him. Then only one thing was there that would protect him, and it was his blanket. So, being the governor, being in prosperity, he had not forgotten his old days, and he had not forgotten even that the money had got wings, that fortune is fickle. How pleased the king was, and the king was also impressed. He was really happy, he was pleased. And how embarrassed the jealous governors, and they were really ashamed. The jealous governors were ashamed. They were uncomfortable. They were nervous when they heard the wise man's reply. They were really ashamed to hear the wise man's reply, because the shepherd was really wise and humble. Now they knew that the shepherd was indeed the humblest and the wisest man in the land. And now it was proved to them all that the shepherd was the most humble and he was the most wise man in the land living there. The king made him the governor of a much bigger district that very day. And that very day, he got a reward of his honesty, he got a reward of his wisdom, he got a reward of his humility, and that reward was that he was made the governor of a much bigger district. So this was the chapter, and now let us know the moral in it. We got the moral that we should be polite and humble in every situation. As the shepherd was humble when he was poor, he was humble in the same way when he was made the governor. So we should remain humble and polite in every situation. It also tells, the story tells that wisdom, humility, and honesty, these are the high values, these are the high principles that will surely make one famous. If we are wise, if we are honest, if we show humility, if we are generous, then we will become famous. We will be respected by people. We will be respectable at the end. The story teaches us that wealth is temporary and one must always remain humble no matter if we are in adversity or we are enjoying prosperity. So, no matter in what condition we are, we should be humble, we should be polite, like the shepherd. So, this was the chapter, and it is really a good chapter having good moral in it, and I hope that you have understood the chapter and you will try to follow the moral. So thank you for watching the video patiently. I hope you have understood the topic well. So like and share the video, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you with a new video on a new topic. Till then, bye.